certainly by now you've been read in on the #1 story in the world, which is that a U.S. fighter jet, a sophisticated weapons platform, one of the best in the world, was shot down by an Iranian regime that has extremely degraded equipment. They can't defend their own shores or skies at this moment. They have been reduced to a diminishing number of suicide drones. But how are they able to shoot down our weapons platforms, $100 million weapons platforms? Thank God one of the crew members has survived and been rescued by American forces. The second is still unaccounted for, and we pray for their safety, that this doesn't turn into a hostage situation. However, how did this turn into a situation at all? The Iranian province where this F-15 fighter jet was shot down is not a particularly populous area. It is a remote part of Iran. It is a sheep herder part of Iran, farming, agrarian. That's the majority of the country. And it raises the question, what exactly happened here? How was this regime able to shoot down one of our aircraft when it could barely shoot its own missiles? Here's footage from yesterday of the Iranian forces firing a missile at themselves here effectively. They shoot a missile and it launches, and then it falls directly onto Iranian territory and explodes in their own suburb. So Iran just bombed itself. Again, there's been quite a few military missteps here for Iran. They have proven themselves not to be a military force. So how did they get this jet to crash? An unbelievable breakdown here that we found on X, how Iran actually hit a U.S. stealth jet. Right now, every news channel is asking the same question. How did Iranian missile manage to track fighter jet so advanced? Let's go ahead and watch. I think this will fill in.
Iran actually hit a US F-35 stealth jet. Every news channel right now is blowing up with the exact same question. How in the world did a tiny Iranian missile manage to target a fighter jet that even Russia's billion-dollar radar systems can't spot? Let's break down exactly what went down. First, take a look at this beast, the Lockheed Martin F-35 Lightning II, the absolute boss of fifth-generation aviation. The U.S. dropped over $100 million a pop to design this thing to slip right past enemy radar and cruise into hostile territory without breaking a sweat. Its main job? Wiping out enemy air defenses and totally dominating the skies. And to pull that off, it uses the most insane, top-secret stealth tech on the planet. The F-35 had an 8-year combat streak, never shot hit, not even once. So the big question is, what is the ultimate weak spot of the world's most advanced fighter jet? How did Iran figure it out and do what even Russia and China couldn't? Look, nowadays, anti-aircraft systems mostly use two ways to guide their missiles: radar and heat-seeking. Now, the F-35 is an absolute master at dodging radar. Because of its crazy shape and radar-absorbing materials, its radar footprint is so tiny that billion-dollar missile systems like the S-300 and S-400 just can't lock onto it. The radar signal literally just doesn't bounce back. But every superhero has a weakness, right? The F-35 packs a single engine called the Pratt & Whitney F135. It's one of the most powerful fighter engines in the world. But with all that power comes a massive amount of heat. And that insane heat? That's its biggest flaw. The date was March 19th, 2026, 2:50 a.m. Central Iran. Instead of relying on radar for their modern defense, Iran was using something called an Infrared Search and Track System, or IRST. These systems scan the sky looking for heat signatures. And sure enough, this system quickly picked up the super hot exhaust coming from the F-35's engine. The scariest part? IRST doesn't send out any signals of its own, so the F-35 pilot had zero clue he was even locked onto. Now let's talk about Iran's weapon. The missile used in this attack is believed to be the 358 missile, also known as the SA-67. And this thing is seriously sneaky. It's not your average surface-to-air missile. It's a weird mashup, half kamikaze drone, half missile. It flies super slow and just loiters around a specific area, flying in a figure-8 pattern. It has its own optical and heat sensors built right in. It basically just hangs out and waits. And the second it catches the heat of a jet, it pounces. The craziest thing is that the 358 can be guided by a network of infrared sensors on the ground. But hold up, just because there was no radar warning doesn't mean the F-35 is a sitting duck when a missile is launched. This jet is packed with a super advanced distributed aperture system, or DAS. It's got 6 infrared cameras that give the pilot a full 360-degree view around the plane. The second that 358 missile hit the gas and its rocket motor started giving off heat, the DAS caught it and instantly gave a warning alarm in the pilot's headset. Now the pilot only has seconds to react. To break the missile's lock, the pilot yanks the jet into high G turns to confuse it. At the same time, the jet starts pumping out flares. The whole point is to trick the missile's sensor so it ditches the jet and chases those glowing flares instead. And it worked. The 358 missile falls for the flares. It still flies incredibly close to the jet. The moment the missile senses it's super close to the target, inside its lethal radius, it just blows up mid-air. The shockwave and high-speed shrapnel from that blast shred the F-35. It completely strips away the stealth coating and wrecks the flight control systems. It wasn't a direct hit that turned the jet into a fireball, and that's exactly why, even with massive damage, the pilot managed to pull off a safe emergency landing. Iran proved that you don't need a billion-dollar radar to bring down America's most advanced jet. So guys, what's your take on how modern warfare...
Okay, so this is just a fascinating breakdown here, and it kind of begs the question, and want to thank Ruby 3D for this research, and link to the channel in the description here. Extremely well done. And while this was a F-15E that is currently down in Iran, the F-35, which is a next generation, but nonetheless, the principles would still apply. How do you solve for such a design flaw? I mean, how do you solve for jet heat signatures? They've done so, obviously, with the stealth bombers, mainly through altitude, I mean, quite frankly. But how do you do that for an average fighter jet? How do you do that for your combat and tactical fighter jets that need to make much more weighty and abrupt and dirty engagements near the ground? I don't know. A viral Chinese video breaks down exactly how Iran could shoot down F-35s using mobile infrared defense systems. Chinese civilians are volunteering technical knowledge here.
如何用伊朗现有的装备击落 F-35？这道题怎么解呢？要把大题拆成小题，再用排除法来解。
This video going viral as well. Fifth generation fighter jet. How do you blow it up? Let's begin. You effectively have to be able to track the heat footprint, and you need to be able to then have a missile that can blow up in range of the actual jet itself. It does the same thing. So this is how it happened. How do you solve for this? I don't know. I'm not sure. Now look at this. Chinese video is going viral online, breaking down how Iran could target F-35 Lightning II with existing equipment by simply solving a step-by-step problem. The speaker argues that the air combat isn't realistic given Iran's aging fleet and decades old, including decades-old F-14s. Instead focuses on ground-based air defense systems. He contrasts large systems with smaller ones using infrared tracking, harder to detect and survive longer. The video is a major part of a wider phenomenon in China. As the Middle East conflict unfolds, civilians are volunteering without pay their technical skills on social media to help Iran. That's the real question here, right? It's real battles with China. So, interesting times. There's flaws in every single system. If you know about these systems, and I live in Tampa, which is right near CENTCOM, I know fighter pilots, they're my neighbors. I really look forward to speaking with them about this. I talk with them about fighter pilot problems all the time, and this is certainly one of them. Let me know in the comment section what you think. It's your boy Benny. See ya.